stand up. Stand up. Hair raisers, stand up.
From the depths to the bottom, you know we got 'em. Hollow out a carrot, make a scope, and then we spot 'em. It's a problem when we come to town, the feeling is stupendous. Nothing like the smell of carrot smoking with a vengeance. We them hair raisers. You can't fade us, boy, my hair's razors. And even if you got the game, you can't play us, huh? We got stripes calling shots like the referee. We got a defense rebound against the enemy.
Look, feeling me. Trust the compassion within our energy. The synergy, cause and effect. Trying to top us foolish, you fully. Holy moly, big homie, we on a rolling. Front lines, we in the city, marking up our territories. And dare for you to whack us at. We hair races, it's nothing for us to lay you at. You bleeding at it, if you ain't with us, you against us. Some muscles, we 4 inches, we demand our respect from anybody who
That's
tests
why
us.
we the hair raisers, fully filled with vengeance. Want the smoke and nothing less of it. Trust, we with the business, the streets. We stay active, toes up to come with it. Set the world on fire while we at it. That's why we the hair raisers, fully filled with vengeance. Want the smoke and nothing less of it. Trust, we with the business, the streets. We stay active, toes up to come with it. Set the world on fire while we at it. That's why we the forced into oppression. They tried to lessen our message with added measures. Now it's time to teach a lesson in chemistry. Take aggression and mix it with frozen tears. Sprinkling some vengeance in it, now what have we here? Enough adrenaline to make your hair stand up. It's time to get it in, now all my hair stand up. Yeah, it's up, we got the ammunition stuck. We running up and you won't get a rabbit foot round here. Your luck is up.
I'm up, we hit 'em up like Tupac. Freeze 'em up with 2 shots. Lie 'em down, stick 'em up, stick 'em fucking in these stars. I can suck my hairy, uncorrupted system with my fella hairs. Throw our hands up, that's what's up about us. All the faction we caused the most havoc. Suck 'em, boss couldn't take it, we took advantage of it. Hater love it, we got it. From our hands to our carrots, it ain't no question, we valid. Raise and set fire. That's why we the hair raisers, fully filled with bitches. Want the smoke and nothing less of it. Trust me with the business and streets. We say after tails up to come with it. Set the world on fire while we at it. That's why we the hair raisers, fully filled with bitches. Want the smoke and nothing less of it. Trust me with the business and streets. We stay after tails up to come with it. Set the world on fire while we at it. That's why we the
hair raisers, fully filled with vengeance. Want the smoke and nothing less of it. Trust, we with the business, the streets. We stay active, toes up to come with it. Set the world on fire while we at it. That's why we the
hair raisers, fully filled with vengeance. Want the smoke and nothing less of it. Trust, we with the business and streets. We stay after tails up to come with it. Set the world on fire while we at it. That's why we the hair raisers.
Let's go. I need to clear my throat a little bit there. Sorry. All right. First things first. You know what to do. Go smash that like button, retweet, comment, do absolutely everything you can to get everybody you know in this space right now. We want you all. We want a full team. We've got the full team out here. We're excited. Lots of great developments going on. But we want you to see what we've got. But before we do that, I've got a little something to say here. You know, fear's upon the whole space. Fear, fear, fear. Fear of projects and blue chips dying. Fears that PFP projects offer no more than gimmicks in the same cycle of airdrops, more mints, and now many trying to pivot into gaming all of a sudden. These days were always coming, and we were always prepared for it. Why should we fear? We were always different animal. We never followed the general normal playbook. We did everything the Hooligan way. And it's time for us to show the world that we've been building for years. We told you we were products first, and we've been building in front of everyone together. We told you what was going to happen, what was inevitable, and that products were where the true value would come. We've been the underdogs, but our time is almost upon us. Are we going to succumb to the fate of everyone else? No, because we were always a cut above everyone else. They do this, they do that, but you know, they can't do what we do. You know, we can do what they do, but they can't do what we do. You know, Hooligans are a brand. Hooligans is a culture that can duke it out with the best of them. AMGI Studios is making products. First ever digital avatar piloting tools. One of the best upcoming games in the space. New tools and tech every day. Because it was always going to come a time when just having a PFP wasn't enough. Now they're scrambling. Now they all want to be in gaming. We didn't believe them then, and we don't believe them now. We're not the same. MPH has always been a different animal. Never compare us to the rest because they can't compare themselves to us. We're unique. Our quality is a different level. We've got a damn certified 5th degree wizard in the house from the straight out the darkest, deepest dungeons in Earth. Right there. Why you think we're playing out here? Why do you think we're playing? We've been firm for this long together. Some say we're only as strong as our weakest link, and we say we're the strongest together. It's only a matter of time till the world knows our name and gets our goods. I'm gonna keep going.
Keep going.
Keep going.
You know,
Keep it rolling. Keep it rolling.
We're no stranger to these seas that people, you know, we're no stranger to these harsh seas. The people that were praised and seen as gods, with sheep flocking to them in the masses, have exploited this thing of ours collectively. Cliques, elitisms, chips on shoulders, floor price shakers and makers. Now it's our time to show them who the real kings are. Hooligans shall remain strong. Hooligans shall be victorious. Hooligans shall rise. I'm going to keep going.
Keep it rolling.
We've never had to outsource one thing. We've never had to pay anyone else to make us something. From trailers, shorts, apps, products, games, the best content in the space, and tech all under one roof. All with passion. All with creative collective experiences. That's why we're on a different level. That's why we can never be faded. Now gaming's inevitable. Now storytelling's everything. Remember who's been doing it from day one. Remember who the naysayers were. Remember who has the experience. Remember who showed delivery and transparency every step of the way. The pressure's on, and we completely thrive in it. You know, we work our butts off to make you proud every day, to deliver a dream and a vision. We make sacrifices all the way. This dude right here, Luke, got married last weekend, straight back to work the next day. No time
honeymoon.
off, no honeymoon, because the drive is that high and the pressure is that high, and the pressure to deliver our vision is all we think about. You know, we're more than a project. We're more than a game. We're more than a brand. We're more than products. We're a family. We are My Pet Hooligan. Let's hear it.
The hype man of all hype man. Dang.
And with that little
It was like a
speech,
manifesto.
That was like a manifesto.
And
It
with
was like
that
William
little speech,
Shatner
happy
on
Friday,
fire.
everybody.
Incredible.
All right, back
Go 10 rounds
to
with
normal voice.
Apollo
Hope you
Creed.
enjoyed that.
No, that was really good. Thank you, Skyhopper.
Yeah.
That was really, really good.
All right, okay. Anyway, back to regular schedule programming here. Got the full team in the house. Let me get the vibe check.
Vibe check is good.
Vibing
good,
Yeah,
man.
we're here. We're ready to go.
is
Ready to
good.
keep building.
All right, cool. Vibe check is good. And when this plane passes by, I'm going to say we've also got one of our esteemed community members in the house. We've got Big Bubba in the house. Big Bubba.
Yo!
Yeah, Big Bubba's watching us. So Big Bubba has finally seen Luke Skyhopper too.
Skyhopper
All
has been
right,
doxxed.
so today we're going to talk about game. We're going to talk a little bit about the new upcoming cinematic without spoiling anything. Some of the progress we've been making on AI and some of the tools we've been developing. But first I want to quickly kind of cover some stuff. I want to cover a little bit about Zuckbot's Orange Paper and website. So all feedback on Orange Paper is collated and we're working through everything. We're always committed to the community and appreciate all feedback. We're collectively in this together, and the most powerful success comes as a group rather than individuals. So there will be one more iteration to the paper, and I'm really excited about the developments already, and I can't wait. So look forward to that. Zuckbots done testing after the ETH Chapella upgrade. Didn't really affect much, so we're going to press ahead with a plan around it, and we'll let you know what we need from you and the process, and test it out with you too. So we'll let you know what the date is and the plan around that. And website, thank you all who have been submitting feedback. We'll be getting through some of the feedback immediately, which is more of the kind of lower hanging fruits. Some will obviously take longer, but most importantly, we're testing out the K Gold shop right now.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Can't wait to roll that out so you can all go spend some of that K Gold and get yourself some goodies. But let's get straight into it if everybody's ready.
Absolutely. Yeah, we're ready.
And I want to get straight into the game. Obviously, we've got the game. I think we've got it playing in the background.
Yeah,
Let me
let's
check.
pull up
Yeah.
the game.
Let's pull up the game. So, you know, we have announced that the game is the community version of the game, so which will be the closed alpha 1.5, is expected by the 12th of May, which is likely when we'll have our next live stream. We want to take a little bit more time on that to get, you know, some extra tools, KPI tracking, sort out some of the optimization, dedicated servers. We've got the Wizard in the house. I can't talk to some of this stuff, but he can. So Wizard, we want to know what's going on in the next few weeks, what we're hoping to achieve from the build, and what you're kind of most excited about.
Oh, I mean, the thing I'm most excited about is getting this thing out for everybody to play, because
Yeah.
I mean, the build that's out in the community now is so different from what we're playing now. I mean, it's night and day, and I mean, you know, under the hood, I mean, we're doing a lot of work right now getting the dedicated servers going. Archie's been plugging away on that. I have a strong suspicion that we're probably, if not the first team to be trying to do it, we're one of the first teams to be doing it, because in Unreal 5, because there's a lot of stuff that we're having to work out directly with Epic on it, but we're going to get that stuff working, and it's going to run great, I think.
Kind of
And,
amazing. We're actually on that cutting edge. Like it's
Yeah. Well,
pretty nuts.
Consistently, because we started in Unreal 5 when it was in early preview, and started just legit building the game in it, which was so we're kind of finding all the bugs first. And so like in 5.1.0, you just couldn't build a dedicated server at all, and so they fixed that in 5.1.1, and so there's lots of stuff to figure out. But meanwhile, like in the game front, there's all kinds of cool stuff happening right now. I mean, the skateboarding is amazing. What Carl's got going
It's
in,
nuts.
we just got the rail grinding in and working.
Let's talk about that, because I just saw like a huge jump. Let's talk a little bit about the kind of skateboarding. I know Luke, you used to be a bit of a skateboarder. Well, you claim you used to be a bit of a skateboarder. Back
used to
in
be,
the days.
still am.
So like, look
Come
at
on
that,
now.
look at that jump. So like, tell me, is this something, obviously the community really pushed for skateboarding early on, right? And I think that's why we did it. But tell me a bit about how much this means to you, and like this being the major means of transport around the game, and also kind of mini games that can evolve from what we're developing here. Because everybody loved like Tony Hawk's skateboard. I really like Cool Boarders as well. I don't know if anybody remembers that.
Oh yeah.
But, yeah, I mean, this being a game with PvP battles, that's not just it, right? There's a social part of this. There's also mini games part of this. So like, delve into that a bit more, and like, how you kind of see this all kind of piecing together as one experience.
Yeah, well, what's super cool about this, what Carl and Archie and Kevin and the whole team have put in here, it's the way I can relate it to. It feels like SSX Tricky meets Tony Hawk, and then you're playing it as a Crash Bandicoot character. It's really freaking cool, and it feels really awesome. I mean, I've been playing some of the earlier versions of it, and not even like what I'm watching here on screen, and it's addicting. I was telling Colin last night, I'm like, I'm watching what's going on Carl's screen, and I can feel that drive of like, oh, I want to play this. It's pulling me to want to go play that part of it. So hopefully we can keep putting more and more of those sticky features that speak to other users and other players that draw you into it. That certainly hooked me. So
I mean, there's probably like even if the game was only skateboarding alone, it would be a fun game.
totally,
Yeah,
totally.
It's starting to get
added
there.
bonus
Yeah.
to get around in the game.
It's so
fact
cool.
that there's also so many other things that are in this game is kind of mind-blowing.
It was interesting because like I didn't know that this was all going on. I just happened to walk past Carl's screen one day, and I was like, Carl, I normally walk past and say, Carl, what are you working on? Show me what you got. And then he pulled this out, and I was like, whoa. And I immediately ran over to Luke and Colin. I was like, yo, guys, have you seen this new skateboarding stuff? And they were like, no. So it's like, what we often find with the team here is they often will just be working on things and in the background on the low, just as, a bit of a passion piece. And
Yeah, there's no
before we know it,
committees.
it's like a huge, massive feature for the
Yeah,
game.
yeah. All of a sudden, this is not something we sit and we stew over and we say, should we put this in? Carl just puts it in, and then I look over and then I see that he's got this trick boost meter, and that it actually is strategic how you jump and all these different tricks.
Yeah,
and then
yeah,
the more,
yeah, that's
the
how you
more
earn your
successes,
boost.
right? Then you get even more tricks revealed to you. And then I turn over to the animator, to Anna's desk, and then I see like a list. I said, how many different animation clips are you putting in this skateboarding, feature alone? And she's like, I don't know, you tell me. And we're looking at her screen, and there's like 50.
Wow.
And I'm like, all right, let's do it.
Let's go.
So that's a perfect example of the team just does the right thing. That's really the mandate everyone has. Just do the right thing all the time.
Well,
and be in good shape.
and trusting creative intuition to make something fun and compelling here. I mean, that's what what it really
It's how you
boils
make
down
something
to.
good. I mean, your design has to be a conversation with the thing you're designing. You can't be like just thinking it ahead. You have to be feeling it. You have to like games are all about feel, and you have to be playing it and saying, "Oh, bro, what would make this really better is if we did this," and then just do it. Do what you got to do and make the game good.
Totally.
And, skateboarding was kind of one of those things where it started as kind of a simpler thing, and then we were having fun with it. I mean, I remember Skyhopper. Anytime we were at one of the shows, you'd be like, Skyhopper, you were never not playing on the skateboard. And so we're like, let's make that really good. Let's lean into this and make the skateboarding like a legit part of the game.
Yeah,
Well, it's like-
and it's
I feel
still
like-
super early on, like
Absolutely.
everything we're seeing right now, like on screen and what they're doing. it's still the beginning of like where it's going to go, but
Totally.
it feels really smooth and
Yeah,
it feels really great.
I only gave Carl the movement controller for the skateboard 2 days ago. So it's like,
That's insane.
Carl's an animal.
It just
Yeah.
also goes to show. I mean, I
That's
feel like
crazy.
it's a great kind of seed to think about, considering all the other things that will eventually make their way into this game, following this line of intuition, or this tenet really of like fun first. Does this game have feel? Is it fun? Is it actually compelling to watch and play? Does it hook people? Is it sticky? These are the things that are ultimately gonna. I mean, it's easy to talk about all of the Web3 elements, but when we really talk about value or building something that has potential to really create value, it's these intangible things. It's like, all right, is this a fun product? Is this a compelling thing that we're building? That's much more interesting.
You can't
to explore.
fake soul.
Can't fake it. Exactly.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right.
Kevin, what are like the biggest challenges with kind of getting a mass build out to a community where we can expect a lot more players in as part of overall kind of feedback and testing? What are the biggest challenges and like?
There's two of them.
Yeah.
So I mean, the first is getting the server browser to see the dedicated servers and figuring out just what we got to do with that, and then the next one is going to be network optimization, because we have a lot of stuff going on in this game right now, and all that stuff's got to go over the wire in multiplayer. It's one thing when you're playing on a LAN, it's another thing entirely when you're playing on the internet, where you've got asymmetric connection. You've got fast down, slow up on most home connections. You've got potentially a long wire between you and where your server is. Somebody could be playing in Finland and the server could be in London. There's a long bit of wire between them, and it's got to make a round trip. So there's a lot of optimization that we got to do to make sure the network play feels smooth and feels responsive and snappy. So my life over the next couple weeks after I get back is probably going to be practically 100% network optimization.
Yeah.
Nice.
That's
Sounds fun.
yeah. I mean, it kind of is though. I mean, it's I don't know. Maybe it's like the nerd in me, but there's some part of me that likes like digging in and
Yeah, totally.
It's
cleaning
problem
something
solving.
up. Yeah,
it's
yeah.
problem solving that you get to see the direct outcome through a really cool visualization. And yeah, I can't do it, but I can get behind it.
Probably
The
something
little
sort of
that I
satisfying
understand
too.
in these conversations, I drive by and I sometimes I have to point out that I think it was Kevin that came up with this debugging principle called the rubber duck debugging.
Oh no, that's been around for a while.
Okay.
I can't take credit for that.
Well, anyway, he's
He came up with the
revived it.
rubber chicken.
And
Invented
just the
C++
idea of, like,
actually,
sometimes
Kevin.
when you work through a problem, just talking
internet.
about it in the most simple terms. I mean, Feynman talked about those things too. You got to explain it to someone like they're a rubber duck. And actually, in the explaining, often you can solve the problem. Just explaining it, because sometimes you're stuck in your own head. But what's exciting is just listening to the problem solving. Kevin's solving problems about network traffic. How many things are being broadcasted from one person's game to another, and how much is needed? And sometimes we're over broadcasting. But then also, I stumbled upon a problem that Kevin was solving about partitions and certain things that were a couple of bugs that were happening as partitions meet each other in the game build. And all of a sudden it occurred to me, wait a second, isn't this an epic problem? Are you actually spending your time solving something that's a problem that's on Epic's side of things? Are we solving a problem for all of Unreal 5? I still don't know the answer.
Yeah,
to
we
that.
are. What's going on here is UE5 has the world partition system, which is a fantastic streaming system for large worlds. It basically kind of automatically segments the level out into grid cells and chooses when and how it's going to stream them in. The challenge that we're running into is if you make a destructible object, which they don't have any examples of those in Larry yet, so we made our own. For reasons that are totally unclear both to us and the Epic people, if you put that destructible object on the boundary of two world partition cells, the combat set and the health set will be properly constructed, but then they'll be gone when the initializer goes and tries to apply them to the health component. And so what I'm doing right now is generating a lot of log data, because they don't have a way to reproduce that at Epic. I'm just generating a lot of log data for them and showing them the instrumentation we're putting in the code to try to figure out what's going on.
Yeah, so most sane people would just sweep the problem under the carpet and just say, well, fine, don't put a destructible object on the place these partitions meet each other.
That's janky.
But Kevin said, well, yeah, that's janky, right? That's not the right way of doing it. So what you're seeing is not just a bunch of animation clips thrown into a Lyra ripoff. These guys are going deep, and they're making the code beautiful. And so, anyway, that's something I really respect, and I just had to give a shout out to the perfection that this guy's given to the
make
build.
it work, make it right.
We should have like a tech
The extreme
talk
make
with,
it right, yeah.
Yeah, and to that point, you have to care about making it right, because it is really easy to hack around. I mean, yes, absolutely, I could just go and say, hey, well, just don't put these things on a boundary. But the reality is, if we've got a circumstance where those health components could somehow become unreliable, we got to find out what's going on, and we got to help the Epic people find out what's going on, and we got to go and fix it, because otherwise it's going to go and bite us some other time.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason why you don't see this game crashing all the time is because we think this way. You got to be planning for stability from the start. If you write hack code and then you're not careful about how you structure it, you're going to have an unreliable piece of software. It's going to crash later on, and you're going to have really fast development early on, and then you're going to go and roller skate into gravel when it comes time to make this thing stable. I always tell people, like, be really suspicious of engineers who deliver software too quick right when they start, because they're usually hacking. And I mean, unless they acknowledge this, make it work, make it right, make it fast.
Right.
It's like make it work phase. Yeah, slam it together. Find out if what you're doing is fun, but you better go back and do a make it right phase, which is what we did with this game. That's why we took the 1.0 and rewrote it in this framework, because now we knew what the game needed to be.
And
But we
also,
had
I
to
think
do it right.
another philosophy of Kevin's that I really like is how often he's encouraging the team to make a build, like daily, like 3 times a day. You guys are building a new build. So you guys, I know you guys have been waiting for a new build, and if it was purely up to me, I'm the guy to like just get it out to everybody as soon as possible, because I want you guys to experience the fun that we have. But cooler heads prevail, thankfully, and making sure that the build is stable, it works for everybody, it works in a non-janky way where it will just work through the EOS, so that you guys don't have to have special ways around to give us your email to get in the game. These are ways we could just send you a code to start playing this game automatically. So thankfully, the game is going to be a beautiful thing when it is in your hands. And hopefully, and then we'll be able to track metrics as well to see who's playing it, what's not working, where are people hanging out, what are people enjoying in this game, so we can make more of it.
Yeah, really important to start getting all that kind of stuff out with this next build, so we know where to focus on
that data.
and where to
with your permission.
Yeah,
With your
exactly.
permission, of course.
Yes. What's important to be building?
We're tracking all of you right now.
Do you like this weapon? Do you like this game mode? Do you like these skateboard tricks? Do you like that? Like all that stuff is such important, useful data for us to get, so we can keep custom tailoring the game to the best specifications that's right for the player, that's right for the community. Something too that we've been working on as well behind the scenes is mini games. There's some cool things that we're going to be rolling out here in the next while, maybe not with this build, but coming out very soon, working on some pretty cool things behind the scenes with just some bigger names that are well known, who can bring some really fun little different elements to the game as well, that are on brand with what we're building, but also really are behind what we're doing, and we like what they're doing too, so it could be pretty cool.
I can say that I think you all are going to be very pleased about it. So
it'll be cool.
Bit of a nice little tech. Everyone loves a good tech talk with Kevin. We need to just we need to put you on here for 24 hours and just keep talking.
One more thing, just to commend you, Kevin, and the
Tech
rest of
Talkathon
to the rest of the game team. I mean, you guys have really built, again, in this make it right tenet phase. That's the way to describe it. But in the make it right phase, you guys have really built a foundation for something that's going to be very substantial. We're going to be able to build upon this in a much more robust way moving forward.
And you're already seeing that. I mean,
Totally.
you look at how extensive this skateboard system is becoming. I mean, we're able to do that because we don't have a hacky core character where where you're like fishing your way through spaghetti code trying to make this thing work.
Yeah.
Hey Kevin, I'm noticing that there's some unique icons over our characters now. Can you tell us about that?
Yeah. Those are the faction icons. So
Crazy.
Yeah. So I mean, it looks like we got most of the players in the game right now are in one faction, but your faction's being tracked now. So anybody who's whose NFT is in a faction, you're in it, and then
You got the faction logo up above them.
yeah,
faction
sure
color.
do. And for later on, as we have unaffiliated players, they can pledge allegiance to factions, or they can do stuff that gets some
That's cool.
reputation with factions. So there's going to be a lot of fun stuff with that. But
I'm really excited for that.
That whole system went in last week, I think, or something like that. We got the whole
that's so cool.
whole faction management system.
It is helpful when you can see them from afar too, because without that, they're hard to find, and then I always get killed. So it's great that you can see them coming and be able to plan your attack.
All right. Well, let's see what else what else Carl manages to sneak in the next few weeks before we put the build out. I'm sure he's got a few tricks up his sleeve. But
he does.
Great update there. Really looking forward to getting this in the hands of everybody. And 12th of May is the date we're working towards. Now, a bit of alpha there as well. So definitely some exciting developments in the work to bring more mini games to Rabbit Hole and build out the Hooli arcade.
Yep.
Will be the arcade of our childhoods. Well, some of us older folks anyway. So definitely looking forward to that. We can't say any much more on that right at this particular moment in time, but from what I know, I'm super excited. All right, so Colin, I want to talk about something else. So let's talk about cinematics. Seems like people in this space in particular like trailers more than actual games and demos and playable things.
Yeah.
And we got setting up our sleeves, right?
Yeah, I mean, keep in mind that the studio is filled with people that have come from feature film backgrounds, and so anytime we're doing anything that comes near a film quality, people just jump on it, and the enthusiasm is nuts. It's almost like you can't keep people down. So yes, in addition to the script of the feature film that we're working on, and we're
Got some
about to
updates coming
pitch
there too. Yeah.
that to some big studios very soon. The cinematic trailer has gotten all this attention, and it's to the point where, it's kind of taken on a life of its own. So this is just a little bit of a glimpse of some of the storyboards, and then how it goes from a storyboard to 3D layout, and that's where things really get exciting. That's when we actually do our location scouting, and we have to beef up some assets that have to reach a feature film quality. Now we know very well, and there's some healthy internal discussion, that we don't want to pull the wool over anyone's eyes. We don't want to make a cinematic that doesn't truly represent the game, but we also want to make a cinematic that looks cinematic. We know there's a lot of people out there that only make cinematics, and there's no game to back it up. So we're trying to make sure that a lot of the actual animation that is in the game is also put in here. But of course, along the way, we're beefing it up. We're making a new twist on this whole thing. So anyway,
they often have these awards, Colin, for
Yeah.
like best trailer and for Web3 games. Like, it's gonna be no competition.
we have
No
to win that
competition.
award, right? It's like
Coming for all of those awards.
We're coming for all
every
of you.
single one of them. So the team is having a lot of fun, and this is a small example of us also figuring out the best pipeline for when we do create a full feature film. It's going to use exactly the same kind of pipeline that we're using to make this cinematic. So that's kind of just a short glimpse of where it's at. Trying to, and it's tough to
It
get
looks
everything in there,
really
right?
good.
We want to represent all the
Yeah.
factions.
Yeah.
We want to represent the humor, the style. We also want to make this a 4-quadrant kind of appealing cinematic that's not so edgy where kids can't enjoy it, but it's also not so sweet where it's only for little kids. So it's like it's walking that fine line. It's a lot of fun. I think it has a bit of everything in there, and then you have to make sure these things work visually. One of the very first rule we were told at Cal Arts, where many of us went to school, which is day one, we were taught all of these clips you make, every bit of animation has to work with the sound off. Has to just work visually. That way you're ensuring that it's going to work in every culture. Then when you have the sound added, it's just going to benefit in the music and all that stuff. These things have to work visually, and that's really kind of what we've been brainwashed into creating, is visual, iconic images that work in any culture and any language. And so anyway, that's where we're jumping in. We're having fun. It's a healthy juggling of resources internally in the studio. Thankfully, our managers, kind of our unsung heroes, Matt and Rick, are right behind Jumana. They're behind the scenes. They're actually
making. Are all crushing it.
They're making this work. Stuart, Amos. I mean,
Always.
they're really doing the heavy lifting of how to balance all these asks out. We're very demanding. I mean, we're nice, but we're probably a pretty demanding.
If you guys haven't
very
noticed,
ambitious.
we've
very
got a lot
ambitious.
of irons in the fire. So
And no,
So
we're
we're very
ambitious for a
thankful.
small team.
Very thankful for them, and they don't get the credit that I think they often deserve.
Absolutely. Well said.
Yeah.
Yeah. Love you
The
guys. You
cinematic
guys are
is amazing too. It's looking incredible.
Yeah,
Very,
I'm-
very cool.
And I'm glad that, considering the way that many projects tend to go, make a good-looking cinematic and then try to kind of hack together a game. I'm glad that we took the opposite approach, like make a gas game first.
Making
and
games
then-
is hard.
Making games is hard.
Makes a game- yeah,
It's
it's
hard and
very, very
expensive,
hard.
but
Do
man,
that first.
Do that first. Figure that out first. Then make a sick-ass cinematic.
It's a lot of fun. So anyway, hopefully that should be out when the game is also released.
Yeah, I
And
think
maybe
it'll be
we'll
a little
tease
bit
a little bit
before.
before that.
Yeah.
But we don't want to give too much away.
Not 12th of May, by the way.
Yeah, not 12th of May.
Yeah. Thank you for the clarity, Scott.
We'll be
But more so
teasing that out to you guys.
towards the public beta of the game. So no, definitely looking forward to that. And we're not going to spoil anything more. We might show you another few screen grabs later on down the line, but we're not going to spoil it. And let me tell you, it's going to blow everything else out of the water. So putting everybody on notice right now. You've had your time. Now it's our time. All right. So Colin, just I know you've been working hard with the team on updates to some of the AI tools we're using and the kind of NPCs and general kind of chatbots we could kind of use in our ecosystem, and also other tools. You mentioned a procedural texture tool, so I just want you to talk about some of the AI stuff. We've heard some new voices, more expressive voices, like almost sounding pretty much human-like, and then talk a bit about some of the tools that we're working on for some of the UGC stuff.
Yeah, sure. So, what you see here, we work in Unreal, right? Everything's in Unreal, and the quality keeps getting better and better. And
It's crazy.
Every time I get a build in my hands, I do my best to break it, and then ask for help to fix it again. But what's crazy about Unreal is the textures. The quality of the textures is so high, and it's no secret that we want a marketplace where people can customize their own hooligans, and then more than that, we have partnered with Doge, and we talked about kind of a Dogegram, build a Doge.
Colin, don't look behind you.
Kind of factory. Oh my goodness! Holy cow! Look what's going on over
Oh my god.
Is that an Archie?
Speaking of crazy
Oh, no.
AI,
It's an Archie in the wild.
I don't know. What's going
It's a wild Archie.
Come on in there. Look at this.
So Archie in the house.
Archie,
What up, Archie?
Come on, Archie, join us.
Come on in. Come on in.
Completely AI generated.
Don't sit on the mouse.
And wow, look at that.
This is a new revolution in
That's
AI
quite-
Look at those
What
pants.
are you doing,
baby.
Archie?
Quite the patriotic pants.
In the
there.
Tupac.
I thought I'd join everyone for Freedom Fridays.
Oh, let's
I
go.
like it. Freedom Fridays. Okay, that sounds good. I
And
wonder-
the Pac shirt.
yeah.
Oh yeah, man.
Right?
At AMGI, it's every day is Earth Day, and every day we
Every day's a fashion
recompile
show.
our binaries.
All right. Well, let's
that's
see what
what-
Crystal
that's what
Byrne
it
has to
is.
say about Archie's Archie joining us here. Hey, Crystal, what do you think about Archie over here? Oh, hold on. Look.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh. Hold on.
Very
Oh,
good.
Yeah, she's not talking anymore.
Archie, you want to take a
Archie is an amazing game developer. He's always coming up with new ideas and pushing the boundaries of what's possible. His new outfit is especially cool. It's a real statement and shows how proud he is of his country.
wow.
Right.
Yo,
Crystal, you just get me.
Freedom pants.
Freedom
That's
Pants,
pretty crazy.
Right. So that's that's Crystal. So what we have here is a very animated upgrade of Crystal Bun. We have a new voice. That's
You can say animated version of
kind
Archie.
of sounds familiar, that voice. I can't,
They've been
I can't
working
quite
long on
put-
that
Yeah, I
Button
don't
on
know.
it,
You
but
know,
it
it's
does
a
sound quite
mix of
familiar.
many different voices out there. These things start blending together. I mean, we've gotten really good at training this stuff. Actually, I haven't talked to Thomas yet, who's doing a lot of our development. But I'm going to do some crazy things this weekend, and just to see if it works. It's been known that I do play trombone a little bit now and then. I want to see if I can do a Charlie
One would say
Brown
he's a tromboner.
trombone voice in AI. I don't know why.
Trompeter.
Because why not?
Trompeter,
Right?
thank you, thank
You
you.
can train these tools. Okay, now what if I mix a trombone sound with a human voice? Will I get a 50-50 blend? I don't know. That's what I want to try. That's what I do on the weekends. I don't know what you guys do on the weekends.
See, this is what I love about this studio. It's just like dumping the Legos out in front of them and saying, hey, let's.
Why not? Together. I mean, actually, there is a lot of crossover. I do love delving into the Mid-Journeys and Dollies, more Mid-Journey, but the same kind of philosophy. I mean, you could take two completely different pictures, upload them into Mid-Journey, and see what they look like mixed. I think the same might be true with this AI voice generation.
cool. That's really
and
cool.
so that's kind of, the stuff going on behind the scenes is kind of like poking a fire, and you just sit there and you're like, what happens if I do this? What happens if I do that? So we're at this place right now where now the sky's the limit. We've successfully hooked up emotions. It's not quite in this version yet, but we've found a way to actually have these characters express both body emotion and a change of voice emotion. And I actually don't think other people are doing that. And we found a really unique way of doing that. In a couple of days, we'll have that put together. We can generate a unique character in very little time. And now we have all of our IMI characters. For those of you familiar with IMI, any of these characters can be transformed and brought into this AI chatbot, super high quality, customizable chatbot world. So, you know, I have kids, and I know my daughters prefer to just hang out and just in the social areas and just talk to some of these characters. So Doge is going to be a perfect first test ground to show how do we train these characters to not only have unique personalities, but unique skins and customizable skins that you guys can alter. And how many skins can we create? What is the goal of how many skins we want to create?
Yeah,
a billion.
lot.
We want to see if we can create 1 billion different unique skins that, you know, to really push the boundaries of whether people know they're playing as an NFT or whether they know they've just purchased an NFT. Can every single 8-year-old, 10-year-old kid have a customizable, trainable version of one of these characters with a unique personality and a unique skin? Now, what do you do with that? Well, anything you want. These things are now they're either a friend to talk to, they're a character you can send on missions and go talk to other people, people's chatbots. These can be your personal assistant. These can be making Zoom calls.
You know what they are? They're your pet hooligan.
They're your pet hooligan.
There it is,
right?
man.
And so
nice way to bring it full circle.
Really,
Who's
that's
pet hooligan?
thank you, Skyhopper.
Your pet
Skyhopper
hooligan.
is such the wordsmith. I love this guy, and it's a crime that you guys don't know who this guy looks like.
Maybe one
he
day.
actually might be completely AI generated.
He
We
is
don't
AI
know.
generated.
We're all AI generated.
I mean, it's actually it actually is a little bit scary. Internally, we could take anyone's voice in the studio, and we're doing it and training it to a point where we don't know if it's AI generated or not. Just listening to their voice, it's become that good.
And Colin, one of the things too that you always talk about is taking two things that have never gone together before
100%.
and putting them together, and that's a lot of what we do here. And it's a lot of the based off the foundation of like, how does this work? How does this work? We'll see how they work together. Sometimes it breaks, sometimes it works, and a lot of the times we find out some really cool things to push on, and that's really a lot what's happening here. Sorry, I need to talk closer to the mic.
Yeah, that's
Sorry, moving around
that's
like
exactly
one.
it. Yeah, what do you think, Archie?
I'm hoping
just gonna
someday
stick
that AI will just raise my kids. I think really, just maybe just generate me and my voice, and then like I could, pop out.
My
for the
pet
day.
kid handler.
There's probably a little bit of truth. I think it's
those are
happening
called
already.
Cylons.
So, I mean, there
Kevin's
actually are-
working on it with Epic.
Kevin, are you able to reveal your secret alter ego name, or is that too early to reveal yet?
My secret alter ego name,
Which might be used next week at a secret location.
Oh, you're talking about at Neotropolis? Yeah. If any of you guys are going to be out at Neotropolis, I'll be in the desert for the next 8 days. So, but out there, I'm not Bumbledore. I'm Synapse.
Yep.
And how did you come up with the name Synapse? What does that mean?
Synapse is the gap between nerve cells that the signals jump across. But I'm a brain hacker out there. I run a facility called the Psychodynamic Synaptic Imaging Company, and so it's we will be hacking people's brains and reauthoring your memories and doing all that sort of stuff that you have to do in a cyberpunk world.
And that's what we do here at AMGI. Right? We send off our top people to go take a week in the
cyberpunk in the desert
to go find.
There is something kind of perfect about that name because it is all about the gap.
It
right?
is.
Like in storytelling, really cool. Whatever the character's expectation is to whatever the reality is in the scene. There's a gap there. There's a gap where expectation meets reality, and that's where the most interesting thing happens.
There's some proper McKee right there.
It's
there we go.
Robert McKee.
I do wonder, does Synapse and Bundledore exist in the same universe? Is there some throughput there? I don't know.
It's a
I'll let everybody spit. Yeah, is this a multiverse Metropolis?
I kind of basically am a cyberpunk character.
Yeah, dude. I agree.
So anyway, so there we go. So we're gonna very soon have a procedurally generated.
Lots of photos.
Right.
So these characters are soon coming to a screen near you. So even though the game right now, I would say it's safe to say that we're pushing the boundaries to make the highest quality Disney animated style characters in a Fortnite-like experience on the planet. We're not just trying to copy Fortnite, but we all often do look at whatever is the best out there. We say, well, what are they doing? And how do we make sure we have that and more, or that and different? We're not just simply trying to copy these other
We
these
got
other people.
skateboarding.
We got skateboarding.
But you got Fortnite.
And so
Not skateboarding.
Actually, Fortnite's the current season of
Don't tell
Fortnite
'em.
does have a lot of.
does have
Yeah,
stuff.
we gotta hide.
Don't give them ideas.
Dang it.
But I think it's worth mentioning though for those of you that were
They got zip
rightly,
lining. You know
for
what
those
that
of you
means.
that were talking about, hey, why does IMI only exist for the iPhone? And well, we've worked really hard to make sure voice chat works in this game, and I guess they're working on it right now. It's these guys right here, and so not only will voice chat work, but you'll be happy to know that it will be voice-driven animated characters. So for all of those that were saying, well, why does this only work on an iPhone, and I don't like Apple, and this and that, and we get it. Now we have a very unique way to make sure these characters are using all of the same animated little bits and mannerisms. All of those will still be driven by your voice, and we have some clever hacks to make these things super animated. So you're going to be in a world where, just like using voice chat, you'll be in a carrot juice bar or in a dance club or a movie theater, and you'll be full of animated hooligans that will be driven by just your voice only. So that's something I'm super excited about.
You won't need any phone attached.
You will not need a phone attached to do that. You will not need the live.
And it'll
app.
still mimic your facial
It
expression.
will pick up. It will be guessing the best expressions that
Okay.
should be going to what you are saying. That's what's happening.
Based on what you're saying and tone?
And text and
There
what
you
you're
go.
actually saying, the quality of your text. All of these things are going to be put into a big blender.
Don't go too technical.
And a big mix, and then we'll be figuring out with some voodoo what you probably are saying, and making sure that it's very entertaining along the way. The good news about what I've just said is that alone, what you're seeing right here, this is something that we believe should eventually work on a web browser only. So the game is such high quality right now. It only works on a PC. Soon Xbox, PlayStation. That's a plan. But this kind of chatbot stuff is going to be able to be working just through a web browser alone. And that's what's really exciting, because now it opens the world to every single device out there, and it gives people a glimpse to the My Pet Hooligan ecosystem.
Yeah.
That also is a glimpse of what this will look like in the actual game.
Yeah,
And just
that's
from a pure
important.
technology standpoint too, from a product standpoint, being able to interchange, or what we've created is having the ability to interchange all these different characters on top of this technology. So, for what we're going to be using it for is for our game, for My Pet Hooligan brand, for we have a bunch of use cases internally, but that's just a starting point. And there's so many different things you can do with this, where the Disneys of the world, or the big studios, or big brands, not even a studio, can look at this and say, hey, I want a talking chatbot. How do I get that? How do I use this? And that's really, what we're building is a foundational, infrastructure, or just a foundational support to roll out in a bigger way.
Yeah, as scary as it sounds, I mean, these things, I think, belong in every mall and every store. Anyone who wants some kind of interaction, some very intelligent interaction.
It's a Disney character. It's not like a humanoid talking to you.
True.
It's
Like, if you
It's
think
that
about it,
creepy,
how
uncanny human.
when you're in a mall and you're looking at the map for a store, it'd be easier if you could just talk to a digital character, and they said, "Oh, well, you're here, and the store's over there."
Yeah. If it's a Scorpio, we might mix. If it's a Cancer, we'll never. Sorry.
They'll never be
Even
there.
I guess the last thing I'll touch upon, like philosophically, is like, well, a lot of people are scared of AI, and I think there's very good reason to be scared of it. I don't know if we're gonna solve it by putting a bunch of rules on AI. It seems, in my opinion, feel free to push back, the best way to keep AI in check is to keep it in check with another AI. With fighting fire with fire is at least philosophically.
Fight AI with AI.
So anyway, that's where I'm at.
It was a movie called Terminator.
philosophically.
Oh, you're right.
Whilst you're on a roll here, you're speaking next week at Consensus, right?
I think
Thursday.
we just kicked off this AI war.
Right, we're starting a war.
Just plugging Colin speaking at
AI
Consensus on
warlords.
the 27th, Thursday.
Yeah. I think it's. I'm so bad at these dates and these interviews, but
27th, so Thursday.
the 27th, I will
Looking
be.
forward to it.
I will be in Austin on the 27th.
Oh yeah, you got a
at
speaking event out
Consensus.
there.
Yeah, so I think we will look at a mechanism by which way we can record it and share it with the community. I think they do have some form of live stream package, but don't worry about it. We'll look after that, so not everybody else has to. So, Colin, if you're in Consensus, anybody's listening, go speak to this guy. He's a legend, ton of ideas, and I think you're gonna have a great time there, Colin. And
Usually can't shut me up. I just start going and then they have to get.
keep going. Just take over.
The voodoo blender.
Hooligans love a good takeover. All right, cool. So I want to move on now to Q&A. Can we do Crystal Bun as well?
You certainly can.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. So we're
Crystal.
looking
Go,
for
Crystal. Go,
questions. So community, we're looking at the YouTube chat. Put in some questions you've got. I'm going to check it in a sec. But also, whilst we're plugging Colin being at Consensus next week, we've also got a Twitter Spaces with DAP Radar on the 27th too, and Twitter Spaces with Rug Radio's in Web3 with Boo Butcher on the 27th too, and Reverse AMA on the 27th too. We've got like 4 things going on the same day. Pretty packed Thursday. We need a name for it. So looking forward to Thursday. Let's get to some questions then. Let me see. Have you seen anything so far? One thing's coming up is hoverboard, question mark, question mark, question mark, question mark. So 4 question marks.
So we got to give 4 answers to it.
We're going to come back to you on that, but I do know I do know we're working on it. So it's normally one of those situations where you go over to Carl's screen and you see a little update.
I guess it's safe to say that a hoverboard is like a skateboard,
Sure
but better.
is.
But it hovers. So it's not. It's
You gotta have power, right?
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
You got to have power.
It's almost as
power
if
on it,
we.
you gotta have juice meters. You gotta have energy source. So yeah, look forward to that. There's a lot in the works. Like there's what you're seeing now is like a culmination of some of our ideas. As time progresses, as this develops out even more, there'll be there's like a whole probably like 100-page book full of other ideas that we want to get in, but it all comes down to time, resources, and prioritization. So
It might even be the community at first.
hoverboards are coming
Yeah.
because a lot of individuals have got
People
them.
have been
And we
asking
told you
for
they're
it.
coming, so they are coming. So look forward to that.
Hey, we have a question for Crystal.
All right.
Can you explain to us how the levels will work in the rabbit hole? Does she know that?
I don't think she knows it, but
Let's see
you
what
can
she
always
says.
ask.
Maybe it'll be a good
Let's see what
idea.
happens.
It's all about how you phrase the question. Explain to me how different levels will work in the My Pet Hooligan game. More difficult the question, the more time it takes her to think about it.
I want to hear what she says.
I think you have to start with what is.
Oh, here we go. I can already see it's coming.
It's just thinking about it.
Complicated.
Every level is different, and each level has different objectives. Depending on the level, you'll have to complete various tasks such as rescuing hostages, fighting enemies, or solving puzzles.
I like that.
You'll also have to collect special items or complete mini games to progress to the next level. Each level is designed to be fun and challenging, so get ready for an awesome adventure.
Wow. Love you,
All right.
Crystal.
Dot.
All right.
Yeah, the
well,
hostage
I
thing's
hope the
new.
game team was listening to that.
let's say this. A few things have come up in respects to like the icons above characters and the amount of text and it maybe being too big. Like one of the questions here is, will the names stay visible in the entire game or just based on proximity? So as we were seeing like tags above gamers, some individuals saying maybe they're too big. Will they always be available if there's 100 players in the map and you'll see 100 tags, or just when they're close by?
No, just when they're close by and because it's a shooter. I mean, I don't want to give away somebody's position if they're hiding behind something or something like that. So the rule is going to be if you're close by and if you're aware of the person. if you've seen them and then for a short time after you've seen them, then it'll stay visible. But you know, it's cool right now where you don't have any other way to find people to have it visible. But that's that's not the final design.
All right, thank you for that. Another one. What games were the devs most inspired by when making My Pet Hooligan? What's inspired you, Kevin? We'll start with you, then we'll go over to Archie. But I know you're a big D&D fan.
Yeah. There's less of that in this. I mean, I grew up playing D&D. That was my thing, and a room in my place is still basically like just all old D&D books, including the original stuff there. But game-wise, probably biggest one for me was probably Mario 64 for some of the stuff, and I know for Carl, it's Conker's Bad Fur Day is a really big driver of this. Ratchet and Clank is a really big driver of this.
Yeah. Carl's another
Halo
one.
1 was another big one for me. I loved Halo 1. The multiplayer on that was just a masterpiece. And,
What was the game that Carl keeps talking about? It's like an early game that it had different dimensions, and it was really crazy. They'll mix Santa Claus with aliens and stuff. Is Carl in? Is Carl in the studio?
maybe Psychonauts? Maybe I'm not
Maybe that-
sure.
Yes.
I don't see me.
I know Carl's a big.
But Archie, what has influenced you?
I think, all right, whoa, that's like asking your favorite movie.
yeah, my mind goes blank when you ask me that.
All of them. I played a lot of Defeat, which is a World War II shooter game. Way too much time into that one. And definitely Baldur's Gate for sure. That's a big thing.
The PC one or the console one?
The PC one.
Yeah, Shadows of Amn was incredible.
Yeah.
Yes.
And what is it? Fallout New Vegas. That's a super big fan. And Katamari. I don't know. That's a deep one, but the wackiness really always holds true for that one for me.
Oh, those are good choices.
Yeah.
All of them.
Well, I thought about it for a long time.
Yeah. So now you're making
My
me
whole
wish I
life.
said those too, because those are on my list also. Yeah, Sunset Overdrive. Yeah. Well, especially for like just here's
Here he
Mr.
is.
Carl.
Oh, Captain Carl, come on in.
We got space over here.
CEO
if I just called
Carlberger
his
is in the
name.
house.
If you say his name 3
You're
times.
gonna create
If you look in the
people
mirror and
on
say
that
his
couch
name,
there,
it
and meanwhile I'm
Hey
alone.
Carl,
on this
so
one.
tell me about
I see
that
how
crazy
it is.
game you keep referencing, that really old-fashioned, like 2D pixelated game.
Barbie Horse Adventure is a big influence of mine. Britney's Dance Beat is pretty sick.
Oh, that's a classic.
But Toe Jam and Earl is a big influence. That's it. Crash Bandicoot, Mario 64. Was it Plant Zombies Garden Warfare 2?
Yeah, all right.
Yes, SSX Tricky for the skateboards, Tony Hawk.
All right. We're
All
in good
that,
hands.
yeah.
We're in good hands.
That's great. All right, good. Well, thank you, Carl.
Cool. Unreal Tournament.
Yeah.
Anything else you want to
Thank
say,
you,
Carl? Carl, can you come back and say,
He
we
said
are
it
my
all.
pet hooligan, please?
Carl's a man of few
We need you
words.
to come back and say, we are my pet hooligan.
What am I to be but a hooligan?
Hey!
There we go.
Let's go.
Even better.
All right, Webby's.
We got we're just gonna drag him in one by one.
Well,
Meet the
oh,
entire
we
team.
got,
That's what we're doing.
we got 2 hopping now.
Hey, two hops a code.
In the house.
We can't see you too well.
For us.
What am I but a what?
Oh, he's still out of frame though. Is the only thing.
Out of frame, dude.
There he is.
Say the line. Say the line. What am I to be but a hooligan?
There we go. All right.
Hey, all right, it sounds like we're having a lot of fun today. Back to questions. Webby, does the updated roadmap seem too ambitious for 2023? Webby, we're a very ambitious team. That's all I can say on that matter, and we've got a lot of stuff to deliver. Will you be able to grind a hoverboard? I guess so. You're
Yeah,
not
I
able
think
to
so.
grind a skateboard yet, but I do know Carl is
Oh,
working
you
on that.
can now. Yeah, grinding. We just got the grinding in. So and grinding a hoverboard. I mean, why would you not?
We referenced
Yeah, exactly.
Grindr.
There you go.
all
Apparently
day.
that was a really tricky problem. I know you guys had a big breakthrough. There was like a lot of rejoicing when they figured out grinding
Yeah.
this last week.
Yeah, it's challenging. Well, because it was tough. Because I mean, there's like because of course the first thing you do when you want to go and put in a new feature is you go and look and say, okay, has anybody already done this? And if they've done like a tutorial or something on it, can you get a leg up on it? And the only person who had done like a skateboard grinding tutorial, I mean, I love that he did it because he rightly outlined like what you need to, like what problems you need to solve, but his solutions were like really brute force and really not usable in a game. So so it was kind of one of those deals where we're like, crap, we're gonna have to really figure this out ourselves. So yeah, hardest thing with the grinding is, I mean, you're moving on a spline. You've got to make sure that you're managing the character's position relative to that spline without messing with their forward reverse position. So it's kind of a lot of figuring out.
I always found it like finding that point on the spline that you jump onto is a tricky one too, or it's like,
yes,
how far along on the spline am I? It has to be exactly perfect. If not, it's gonna look funky.
Yeah, right. Because you get like that little drift there. Yeah, and So there's kind of a lot of stuff, and the spline has a direction, but you got to figure out whether or not the character is moving with or against that direction. So you got to do a dot product against the character's movement vector, or they're facing against the spline. But there's kind of a lot of
Dot product
bits that you had to figure out to make it work there. That's right.
For all my linear algebra bros out there.
That's right. It gives you the cosine of the angle between two vectors.
Shout out to sine, cosine.
Yeah.
I'm getting
Dot
told we're
cross.
running out of time on the broadband.
Wrap it up.
Let's try and get through a few more questions. It's an interesting one because we did show a bit of daylight in one of the previous builds, and one of the questions from Matt Bob is daylight in V1.5. I want to see how my Hooligans look in different lighting, and if not, is it in another upcoming version?
I think the art team's figuring that out. So time of day does work. The biggest reason right now that they're not doing a ton with it yet is that Hooligan City is surrounded by a big wall. And so the problem is, as soon as the sun is either rising or setting, then it's behind the wall, and you've got like this just no shadows and nothing like that. So it kind of looks just jank. And so I think they got some plans for that. So I can't speak for sure, but I know that from a tech standpoint, we can totally do it. From a tech standpoint, we can set the time of day to whatever we want, or we can have it cycling. So it really comes down to what the artists feel like doing.
Just touching on that then, let's say time of day, is weather possible in the future, or is that pretty difficult to pull off?
It is actually, and we have that. We have some support built into the shaders, because if you're going to do weather, like if you're going to do rain or something like that, you have to have all of your materials deriving from a base material that can change its roughness based on how wet it is, so that it looks slick, and then you got to have vertex painted puddles or something like that, or you can fade in. I mean, there's just a lot of stuff you got to do. But we have support for that. I like the idea. I mean, we did a weather test really early on to verify that it worked, and we kind of haven't played with it in a while because we're so focused on the character right now.
I don't think the Hooligans want to get their fur wet though.
I know, right?
Then if it gets cold and windy, they might get cold. They might get a flu. This is a good question. Will there be a DeLorean in season 2? I don't know. I don't think we were planning to put a DeLorean in. But I like DeLoreans, and we all like Back to the Future. So, I don't know. That's all I can say.
Some DeLorean fans out there.
All right, let's get a couple of questions in for Crystal Bun. But whilst the community typing those in, you got any questions for Crystal Bun, Colin?
So, okay, here's actually a real question. I have no idea what the answer is. We want to come up with a better name than chatbot.
Oh, yeah.
So I was joking with Luke. I'm like, let's ask Crystal. So here it goes. All right, we'll see. Sometimes it could crash. For real. Give me 5 different words for chatbot.
Also, good suggestion there, Joseph LaBelle. I like it.
Chatbot, conversation bot, chatterbot, automated conversation system, dialogue system.
Wow, she really liked dialogue system.
Automated conversation.
Hey, can she repeat it in
system.
gibberish?
ACS.
Give me 5 different words for chatbot using gibberish language. We have fun with this. I kind of like the gibberish approach.
Gibberish is my favorite. I'm fluent in it.
chubbabub, gabba chatty chatch, babblebub, babbly babble.
I'm sure some of those domains will still be available.
Chatty Chatch. Babblebob.
ShabbyBabby.com.
Babblebob's
pretty
good.
good.
I like
It
that.
was gibberish.
Yeah, Babble Bob.
Authentic frontier gibberish.
Babblebob, is it?
Babblebob.
All right, so here's a contest. Let's throw in a contest. I'm sure we can muster up a prize or two. Best name for if we were to release a chatbot, and obviously this is technology we're using in the game. It can be used for chatbot as well. But whoever comes up with the best name, will get a signed poster from Colin with his face on it.
With his face. There we
There you
go.
In fact,
pennies.
a T-shirt with Colin's picture on it that is signed personally, and he'll wear it in the studio for a day before he sends it. You know?
Babblebot is good.
If you lose, you have to wear that.
He's gonna wear the studio. Or he's gonna wear the poster. Or you gonna wear a T-shirt. What are you giving away?
All the above.
Where
All of
the
the above,
poster.
all of
The
them,
poster.
all of them. One
It's gonna be a
cool,
weird
one
day
cool
in the
package.
studio.
All right, okay, all right. So here's a
won
good
a
one, and
bet.
let's
I
end
don't
with this
know.
one because I know we got to go. Ask
studio
Crystal
code
if
yet,
she
though.
would ever date a human.
Would you ever date a human? I think unfortunately there's a lot of people in our community that probably ask that question.
I ask it every day.
I'm not sure. I think I'd rather just be friends.
I think I'd rather just be
friend
friends.
zone.
Oh,
Friend zone.
Friend
But
zone.
this is so much more advanced than the previous one. The expressions.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And it's getting better too every
Actually,
day.
understanding what she's saying as well, it's crazy. I'm pretty. Yeah.
Is ether a security?
Well,
That's kind of the question. Or a commodity. Oh, here it goes.
no, Ether is a cryptocurrency. It's the native currency of the Ethereum blockchain and can be used to pay for goods and services.
Not financial advice,
hear
but
that.
yes, that's great answer, Crystal. Thank you.
All right, so here's an interesting one. Ask Crystal
Started
how
with
many.
that.
What's the question?
How many gaming PC owners are there that like playing first person shooter games? I mean, this isn't a first person shooter
That's
game,
everybody.
but let's ask them how many PC gamers are out there in the world.
They like to play first-person shooters.
Yes, specifically.
How many PC gamers are there in the world that like to play first-person shooters?
How many people own PCs?
It's hard to say for sure, but estimates suggest that there are around 200 million PC gamers around the world who enjoy first-person shooters.
All right, we just need a little fraction of that, and we're good to go. All right, I'm getting told time's up, but we're having fun, so we're going to carry on. For one more question.
Oh, one more
Ask Crystal Bonn if she likes to invest in meme coins.
Meme coins?
Yeah.
Yeah, pineapple belong on pizza is a good one too, and meme coins.
Okay. Would you like to invest in meme coins?
Not financial advice.
I think we've asked about the pineapple on pizza one before.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure if meme coins are a wise investment or not. I'd need to do more research before I could make a decision.
There you go. Do your research.
She's doing the research.
Crystal Buncoin coming soon.
Uh,
Joke. All right, one more
pineapple.
question. I
Okay.
don't know what it was. Something about
Does pineapple belong on pizza?
Hop.
I'm a yes for that.
I'm a yes person, too.
I'm actually so impressed by the quality of
Putting
how much
honey
this
on
improved.
these days.
That's a matter of personal preference. Some people like pineapple on pizza and some don't. What do you think?
So about- all right,
Total
that's a
cop
cop-out.
out. She's hoping to run for
Holy
senator
war.
someday.
ask Crystal Bonn if humans like her.
Do humans like you?
Ooh.
We've all just been friend zoned.
I think so. I'm still learning about humans and their culture, so I'm sure I still have a lot to learn. But I think I'm making some friends along the way.
There you go. All right.
There you go.
Cool.
There you have it.
I think that is it for today. I think we've covered a fair bit. Next live stream is going to be probably the 12th of May when we go live with the community build of this game. We'll let you know what's in and what's not in. But really excited about getting in the hands of everybody. We've pretty much got a stacked calendar for the rest of the year. So we're really excited. We've been working hard on these things for a long time now, but all the persistence, all your patience, and everything is very meaningful to us, and all the hard work is definitely coming to fruition. So again, thank you everybody who spent your Friday mornings or nights or whatever time it is in the world. That's the beauty of being such an online network these days. Appreciate you all and absolutely everything you do for us, and we are truly in this together, and in order to achieve success, we can only achieve it together as well. Any final words from the crew?
Thanks for joining us today, and don't forget to admire Archie's amazing pants.
Right?
There we go.
Right?
No, thank you everybody for all the support. Yeah, we love you all. Thank you very much.
Thanks for staying so positive, through these difficult times in the market. And I like to say that I think it's been good for the whole ecosystem. Ultimately, what's going on, but I know it's tough. I know people are getting beat up out there. Stay strong. I think it's fair to say we are truly over delivering, because we're delivering stuff that I didn't think we thought was possible a year ago.
Totally.
So we're surprising ourselves. So, but your enthusiasm, your encouragement is what keeps us going. So
We really appreciate all of you guys just being on this journey with us.
Who
Love
are
you
we,
all.
Wes?
Thank you.
Who are we?
We're fucking hooligans. Hooly hoo. Let's go.
We are My Pet Hooligan.
Right.
Goodbye.
Hooly hoo. Love you all.